Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful day. Today, it's that time of the year again where we get to play a little bit of Keep or Yeet. This is a pretty simple game. What we do is I look at 12 baby crested geckos that are a couple months old. These are all just a couple grams. And we go through, we look at them, we see if it would be one that I would keep as a holdback or one that I would yeet away. Now, I'm not actually going to be selling any of these geckos, so what I'll do is I'll come back in a couple months when the geckos are more grown up, and we'll take a look and we'll see if the ones that I yeeted I should have kept, or if the ones that I kept I should have yeeted. And basically the point of the game is to keep the nicest geckos and to get rid of the rest. Now, the point is to show you how I pick out holdbacks. As they're babies, it can be very hard to tell because baby crested geckos progress a lot as they get bigger, so that's the point of the game. But without further ado, let's jump into our first little gecko. Okay, gecko number 1 here is a nice little flame. He's in shed right now. I am filming this at night, so it's likely we're going to run into some more that are shedding. But is a little flame. He's got some orange pattern, a couple little spots on his sides. Not a whole lot of pattern going on. He's just pretty simple. Now, something like this is probably going to look very similar as it gets bigger. I don't see this one getting a lot of pattern as it grows older, so this is probably one that I would yeet. This is a yeet. Gecko number 1, he's gone. We're getting rid of him. Gecko number 2 is another little flame in shed, as you can see. This one, however, is a little bit more interesting. Now, typically I wouldn't keep a flame crested gecko, but just from his shed here, even though he's in shed, I can tell he's very, very dark. He's got a nice black base, he's got some orange pattern, and I do have kind of a soft spot for flames. There was the first crested gecko I ever got was a flame. And so this one's a little interesting, a little bit cooler than the last one in my opinion. So I think that maybe we should hold on to this one. What do you think? I'm going to give this one a keep for now. Gecko number 2 is a keep. Alright, gecko number 3 here is a little bit more interesting. He's got a little bit more pattern, a little bit more color, but not crazy amount. I do know that the parents on this one are a little bit better though, so I have hope that this one is going to be really nice. Just looking at it like this, I would say there is some white spots coming in, so that's a good sign, but this one's tough. This could be really nice. I'm going to give this one a... We're going to go keep on gecko number 3. Gecko number 3 is a keep for now. Gecko number 4 here is a little red phantom. You can see, not red yet, but we know that because none of the red phantoms are red at this size. However, what I do see on this one, which is a good sign, is a lot of little white spots. And I also see some little white highlighting pinstripe scales near the back, or near the tail I should say. And so that's a good sign as well. Now, when they have white spots at this size, that's a really good sign because as they get bigger, those just get more pronounced and they get more spots. So I'm going to say that we have to keep this one. This one's definitely a keep, gecko number 4. Gecko number 5 also has some pretty interesting parents. So this one could turn out to be red, it looks like, just going off of a guess, but we can't really bet on that. It does have kind of a dark base color. If it was a little bit more tan, I might be a little bit more... sure that it would be red, but it does look pretty nice. It's got a decent dorsal, decent pattern for the size. I would say that we should keep gecko number 5 as well. Gecko number 6 here, I'm not so sure about. This one has kind of a brown base color. There is some nice little white spots coming in on the sides, and I think those will definitely expand and get bigger as it grows up. However, I'm not certain that this one's going to be super crazy nice. And so I think that we should maybe yeet this little guy. He has decent pattern, but nothing crazy. Okay base color. He has okay structure. I'm going to say that for gecko number 6, we yeet him. Gecko number 7 here is another one that I'm not so certain is going to be very nice as it gets bigger. It looks like a pretty average little harlequin right now. He's got average structure, average color, average base color really. He's pretty average. However, you know, given the parents, he might be kind of nice, but I can't say for certain. I just don't see it in this one. So I'm going to say that gecko number 7 we're going to have to yeet as well. He just looks too average, and I don't see anything that's super unusual about him that would make me consider him as a keeper for now. But I think we're going to have to yeet gecko number 7. Gecko number 8 here is looking kind of promising. This is another little red phantom. You know, I have a soft spot for red phantoms. However, this one doesn't have any white spots like the last one we looked at. It's a little bit more of a brown rather than a tan. And like I've said in a bunch of previous videos, when you're looking for reds, you're always looking for a tan rather than a brown. And so I'm not sure that this one is going to be as nice as that first red phantom that we looked at. And so I think that gecko number 8, the red phantom, isn't quite as nice, and I think that we should yeet this one as well. Gecko number 9 we caught in a full shed here. He's wearing a little hoodie, so this one's a little bit hard to tell because of the shed, but just looking through the skin there, I can see that he has some nice bright little white spots coming in on either side. His pinstripe scales have a nice highlighting to him, even though he's not a full pinstripe. I'm more interested in the white spots that are coming in on the sides just because of how big they are at this size. I'm a little bit more interested in those and what they could turn into. And so I think that we should give this one a shot here. What do you think? Number 9, give him a shot. I'm going to have to say number 9 we should keep. Gecko number 10 here is a nice little harlequin. You can see he almost has a little bit of a red hue to him. However, the base color right now is more of a darkish brown color. This isn't something I'd really look for as a red. The dorsal's kind of interesting, a lot of like breaking of the dorsal. However, he has a couple little white spots on the sides, not really crazy pattern. He's looking, kind of like probably just a harlequin. He might be a nice harlequin, but I don't think he's going to be a super crazy, extreme harlequin or anything like that. And so for gecko number 10, I think we're going to have to yeet him as well. I think he's got to go. Gecko number 11 here is a little bit of an oddball. So this guy has very bright orange going down his dorsal, and he doesn't have a lot of pattern. And I'm not sure if the camera can quite pick this up, but he is very interesting because he has little orange spots of raised scales across his body. So his back's a nice orange color, but he also has little groups of raised orange scales, which I think is very unique, and this is the only baby out of this pairing that I got. And so I think it would be foolish to sell this one just because he is a little bit unique right now. If it turns out to be nothing in the end, we can always yeet him down the road, but I think for gecko number 11, I think this is definitely a keep for now. And finally, our last gecko, gecko number 12, is a little baby lily white. What would the video be without a little lily white? I thought we'd throw this little guy in here. Now, lily whites I really like, however, it's hard to get a really nice lily white. Sometimes you get a lot of average looking ones depending on what your pairing was like. This guy looks pretty nice. He's got some cream, he's got some white, average base color right now. I don't think he's going to be super crazy high coverage. I think he'll probably stay around this coverage. He'll get a little bit higher, obviously, as all lily whites tend to do. However, I think that this one would be a one that would be fun to watch grow up, but I think that this would be ultimately one that I would yeet as well. Gecko number 12, I think he's got to go. He's a yeeter. We'll have to wait and see, I guess. And so that's going to do it for our 2023/2024 keep or yeet. We'll have to check back in a couple months to see how our 12 little geckos are doing. I feel pretty certain about the ones that I picked out. We have some really unique looking ones in this batch and some good variety as well. So hopefully I picked out the right ones. We'll have to come back in a little while and see what they look like. But that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in part 2.